Stand to, MechWarriors, and welcome back to another episode of RogueTech as we get into the campaigns of Hollow's Harrows. And last time we got a fairly long-winded introduction to the game and some of its mechanics, and hopefully I will have remembered to actually put a little comment at the bottom of that video in order to say, hey, just jump to this point if you're not interested. But now that we've got that mostly out of the way, let us kick things off with another straight-up battle. We're going to try and get a couple of missions done today. We stream for about, or record for about an hour, so let's jump right into it, nosy neighbors. For weeks now, the local government forces have been scouting territory near Tortugian-controlled land. Previous surveys of this land show there's nothing of interest, yet there they are. Whatever it is that they've found, we don't want them to have it. Go in there and destroy them. This will be 209 priority salvage, 79,600 C-bills, and a modest Haskell mission. We need a lot of the basic equipment still. We need, well, medium lasers and heat sinks is probably the first thing that comes to mind, but also if we can manage to steal a couple of fusion cores, that might make things a little bit safer on us, should we actually have horrific damage. Now, we have brought out the B team for this mission. We decided not to wait for all the mechs in the A team, and so we have Finn currently driving the Brigand, which is equipped, of course, with 2 ER medium lasers and 2 medium pulse lasers, making it possibly our most advanced mech. Mockingbird has taken over for the Urban mech, while our other mech is currently in repair. The Urby is a fairly solid design. Yes, it's a bit of a joke, but at the end of the day, it's a 30-ton mech with an AC-10. That ain't a small amount of firepower. Coach coming to us in the Phoenix Hawk, which is looking fine and sexy in red. I'm quite actually very happy with the current color scheme on that. And then Death Crusade, our current Lance leader in the Shadowhawk 2H. This mech desperately needs a modification into something more or less useful, but for now, we're going to keep it as it is, just because we don't have a whole lot of stuff yet. But we will get stuff and turn it into miracles. Looks like the enemy has taken over the fountain over there, so let us get underway. Maximum pace. Sprint that Brigand on forward. It's one of the best mechs that we have for just an initial contact. Why? Because the ER or not the ERs, but I suppose the ERs, but more importantly, the medium pulse lasers. Medium pulse lasers receive an advantage to hit based just on their innate self, so +1 to accuracy, and they also have ignore 1 pip of evasion. So the fact that he is currently sitting on top of, what is that, like 6 pips of evasion, one of those would be ignored by the medium pulse lasers. So if you're sprinting, which gives you a -2 accuracy, you've already got the +1 and a -1 evasion, so you're basically hitting on par as if you had been standing still against a target who's moved at least a little bit. So not a bad pickup at all for a scout mech. The urban mech, of course, not particularly quick. Look at it go! Oh, wiggling its little self, trying to get there as fast as possible. It's adorable. But it's a really good thing that thing has an AC-10 on board, otherwise it'd never get within range. It is going to lag behind pretty severely, but if I can just sort of get it into shooting range, that might be grand. Do I just want to dive on top of him? Let's do it, because the Brigand can bounce on out of conflict if it needs to. We have identified a sensor contact, but we don't actually have any good information on it just yet. A new phase on 17. Let's see what they're going to do. Like I said, there's like 30 initiative phases now, which is great. It means that individual pilot skill really does matter. Oh, is that a lamb? That's a lamb! Oh, yes! So we've run into a lamb, a land-air mech. It is a Stinger lamb. Basically, it is a battle mech that can transform between a battle mech, this particular air mech mode, and an aerospace fighter. It doesn't quite work as well as one might think, because a lot of the space that it would need for weapons and other sort of critical slots, yeah, that's required for all the transforming gear. And if any of the transforming gear actually gets damaged, it gets stuck in the current pose that it's in, which is obviously not ideal for it, but they are so ridiculously cool, and they provide pretty much unparalleled maneuverability. So I'd love to steal one, but I don't think we're going to be in a position to do anything about it. Oh, the Phoenix Hawk will be able to get a shot. It's going to be a terrible shot because, you know, he flew and we ran, and so I'm not going to bother. In fact, I'm just going to fire my machine guns if they're chill enough. Oh, they're totally chill enough. Yeah, just fire machine guns. Give him a little bit of love. Fire a couple of machine gun bullets all over the place. Didn't connect, but we weren't expecting to. But part of that is just get rid of some machine gun ammo. Machine gun ammo is incredibly volatile and very, very dangerous, so you want to get it off the mech as soon as possible. That's one of the big things that I'm probably going to remove from the mech as soon as I can, is just rip those machine guns clean out. First of all, he's got 2 of them, which means he's got a full ton dedicated just to the machine gun. And then he also has, I've got 120 rounds, and I've got fire 'em 5 at a time. Yeah, we got 24 shots. Open fire. Doesn't matter. Causes no heat, so we may as well just let him know that he's under fire. Oh, we've also identified another target back here. It's an Urban Mech R7. Not sure which version that is, but we're going to find out. As it flies! Looks like it has some kind of laser. Or PVC, and lots of rotary small pulse lasers? Maybe. We'll find out even more. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, lambs. Was I on lambs? I'd love to steal one. Stealing a lamb would be awesome just for the maneuverability. Oh no, I was talking about ripping the machine guns out of the Phoenix Hawk. I will remember things eventually. Hi, so you came a-flying, so let me get in behind you and hopefully rip you an ever-loving new one. You have, according to this, 3 energy mounts, 4 energy mounts, one of which is a support weapon, and 2 unidentifieds. But we have an 82% chance to hit, and a fairly decent one for the ERs as well. Blast away! Looks like we got some penetrating hits so far. Nothing has exploded just yet, but we're going to work on that. Maybe we'll get lucky. The Phoenix Hawk should probably be able to get behind it as well to put in its fire too, which means that potentially those machine guns are actually coming into some use. Machine guns are great for what's called crit hunting, which once you've gotten through the enemy armor, you have a chance of causing critical hits. Oh, wow! Just burning through our legs. This Stinger has just demonstrated that it should not be taken lightly, because that just hurt badly on the Brigand. However, I'm going to continue to try and abuse this urban mech a little bit. Come around with the Phoenix Hawk. The accuracy is not anything to write home about, but we're going to fire anyway. Fire! And that's why we're firing anyway, because we ripped off his torso, which knocked out a Guardian ECM. Okay, so that would be part of the reason why we're having such trouble actually hitting him. Luckily for us, that has been removed from the equation. Can I sprint the Shadowhawk into his back? Because the more people I can get into his back, the more chance I have to actually kill him. And I'd like to do that. Oh yeah, this Shadowhawk is a somewhat longer ranged setup. Because the AC-5 has a minimum range, if we get within that, it becomes a little bit more difficult. I'm going to line these mechs up because, well, you can miss a target but still hit things behind it. And so if we do this, we might have a chance of actually hitting the guy behind him. And we did. Which is lovely. You did 10 damage to the man behind him. That also affects you, by the way. In vanilla, it doesn't. You can't shoot yourself in the back. But in RogueTech, you absolutely can. We are at a distance. We have 10 shells. Open fire. We missed by 18%. But that's basically what we're probably going to be doing with that urban mech. We'll take a couple more shots. Another urban mech. This is the R7. Firing some form of cannon, managing to hit his buddy instead of us, which is always hilarious. And he's now unsteady and lost his evasiveness. Oh, but the pilot is aggressive and mean. He's going to bounce his urban mech and fire at the Phoenix Hawk and get a hit on it. Unfortunate. The reason why the whole world is dark right now, I believe I explained this in the last episode, is because each mech has their own line of sight, and that is now reflected in the game. So let's get the Brigand to fly in before it takes any more serious damage. So we're gonna jump, and we're gonna get some altitude on this one. Ooh, I can't see you if I get there. There we go. That'll be the shot that I'd like to get behind him. I mean, because I have a chance of just killing him if I get behind him. Do I have a heal that I can do to get behind the man without revealing myself too heavily to other people? No, he's actually picked a very nice spot. In order to get behind him, I'm going to have to jump basically out in the open. So we're going to give up on that plan just because I'm not willing to risk this mech too much. Fly! That would be some. Nothing. It'll hit this side. Yep, we're going to bounce up here. Give us a little bit of evasion. By a little bit, I mean 3 pips. And do we burn? Yeah, we burn. It's too high of a chance not to. So firing down into his side, and we've torn out his other torso. He's basically down to kicks at this point, and his engine is critical. Shutdown override successful. Lovely. It'll keep us evasive and maneuverable, which is important. This Stinger Lamb, on the other hand, is going to be able to very much keep up with us, because in addition to having a whole ton of jump jets, it also has, as you may have noticed, wings. It can damn near fly, so, and that's not a joke. The partial wing system on board this thing allows it to go basically wherever the heck it wants. Phoenix Hawk taking a penetrating hit in the back. Oh, this is what happens when you're playing really close. But we should come out of this one somewhat okay, I feel. Well, let's finish this Urby off. Gotta position myself like so, protecting my back as best as I can, while at the same time shooting him in the back. He's only got a center torso left, so we should be able to cut through it. We'll shut off both medium lasers? No, we'll shut off the large laser and fire both medium lasers. One, it's chiller, and 2, it gives us a better chance of getting at least partial hits. Machine guns in there, more crits onto the engine itself, and the pilot is feeling somewhat stressed, as you might imagine. Oh, we can get another mech that is right in behind him. A terrible chance to hit. You know what? We're just going to walk up, and we're going to use them big old fists. We deal 50 damage when we actually try and punch him, so let's give him a little bit of love. 72% chance to hit, and we managed to hit him. And the pilot's out of there. Panic level critical. No, not like this. He's gone. He has managed to eject from the cockpit of his mech, nice, safe, and sound. So he will live to fight another day. I think I'm just going to sprint the urban mech because we need to get this show on the road eventually. Oh, I know what I can do. Target the building, please. Target building. Apparently I can't actually see the building that he's on, which would have been, you know, awesome to do, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. Fire another shell. This fight is going to end before he runs out of ammo. Either that or I'm going to start saving once it happens. Yeah, there's only 3 targets and we've already knocked out one of them, although they've already dealt a fairly decent amount of damage to us. Improved to confident. The brigand is feeling happy about what's going on. The brigand is also toasty. Very roasty toasty. Luckily for us, the brigand doesn't have any actual ammunition that can explode because we've got to bounce down off of this thing, and that's going to require us to use quite a bit of heat. The stinger come flying through the sky and is now almost unsteady, so it should be fairly easy to actually kill so long as I actually touch him. That's honestly all we got to do. So, the brigand, you are a tactician, so what you can do is you're going to bounce. Yeah, that's going to keep your heat quite high. If I bounced right here, I'd be seen by the urban mech, but I want to be seen by the lamb. And only the lamb. That cooks me. If I did this, I would burn myself quite badly. So you know what? We're just going to come bouncing down off the building, and we're going to keep the heat to a minimum. So hop like so. Gets our heat back under control. Brace it up to protect ourselves. And Death Crusade is on the field. Okay, so Death Crusade just basically needs to touch this guy, and he will be incredibly dead, probably. So we're going to line up right behind him, mainly because this will give me the highest chance to actually get this hit in, although this will make us in the way of the urban mech, so I do need to position myself so I won't be so much in the way. All I've got to do is nick him once. Maybe it's better up. Yeah, we're going to wait for the Phoenix Hawk, I think. Oh, but he might move by then. He could very well move. 23% chance to hit him if I do something else. I can't get there. That's probably going to be the best shot I've got. Alright, 14% on an SRM2. Hit something, anything. Aha, we got him! So now he's unsteady, he loses all of his evasion, which means now Coach can come along with maximum accuracy, and he should be able to just rip into him. And because we didn't overheat last turn, we can torch it this turn in order to shove it over the edge. Fire into his back and miss quite a few shots. Structure exposed. I'd like him to eject just to seal everything, but it's only 2 of 10? Yeah, 2 of 9. Priority salvage. We'll be able to get a reasonably accurate shot on this one. Fire away! We missed. Both times. So our urban mech is not exactly disappointing at the moment. It is doing exactly what we kind of figured it would do. And the urban mech going to come up for a punch, get behind, but was not able to connect. We dipped, ducked, dodged, and avoided. So this urban mech has caused nothing so far and is now vulnerable. Oh, and Finn's up again, and Finn is not cooking. Oh. Well, that's time to cook, isn't it? The only concern I have with this is if this doesn't work, then that Phoenix, or that Stinger is going to get right behind me. So let's try and position ourselves to make it nearly impossible for him to get a back shot on me. Hi, buddy, I'm going to absolutely boil this sucker. Fire! Everything you've got, and that's a knockdown. On your back, please, pilot. Eject, maybe? Because that would be awesome. He's got 4 or 5 health. Yeah, that ejection is not happening. Oh, okay. Coach, you're up. And the reason why Coach is up is because Coach is a little bit toasty. And Coach is going to maneuver like so. We'll get him around here. Give him a nice, easy up. One of our machine guns has jammed. And we are suffering from an overheat. So we'll shut off the large laser, shut off a medium laser. Ooh, shut off a... Just machine guns is not going to do it unless we start aiming for the head. Which we can. And we shall. Can this machine gun... It can shoot multiple times. We will fire it for its greatest accuracy, which is a twin burst. So let's see if we can't get a little bit of a hit on the head. So submachine gun fire did not manage to connect to him, but that's kind of to be expected. And his other machine gun has unjammed. I think I might want to step on him. You do not have shoot and scoot. That is unfortunate. Oh, it's a really good shot, except for that autocannon. There we go. That's the one we want. The LRMs are not feeling so happy, but you'll look 75% on pretty much everything. This mech is so ridiculously chill, it's kind of unfunny. I want you to rip off his leg, if at all possible. There's a lot of good stuff in this mech to steal. I mean, we probably scattered it across the whole thing, and he's going to stand up now, but still. There was a really interesting opportunity. So, oh, it's the urban mech. Is our mech going to have a chance to do something? He's firing a whole bunch of cannon shells towards the Phoenix Hawk. It's starting to become a little bit dangerous out here. Mockingbird is up, and Mockingbird should be able to get a decent accuracy shot. I take that back. Mockingbird can't hit crap. Sprint. Getting close. Apparently, okay, the dynamic hit chance does not update normally. Never mind, it was absolutely accurate. Fire. Come on, just eject, man. No, he's going to get up and he's going to be aggressive. He does have a couple of medium lasers, which are quite dangerous. So the air mech standing back up, and he can fly wherever he wants to, and the brigand is vulnerable, which is somewhat worrying to me, especially because he's really torching himself. All right, what's the Stinger Hawk going? The Stinger Hawk? What's the Stinger going to do? There is a Shadowhawk lamb. It's a 55-ton lamb. It's ridiculous. He's going to guard and entrench. Really? Finn, can you punch him and be under heat? That's all I want to know. Get him behind him. Or get him to his side. Oh, that's the side that I don't want to hit him on. I can't have that urban mech there behind me, though. Punch him on the other side. Want to freak him out, clan. -1 initiative. He is stressing now. Coach could pretty much do the exact same thing, but what Coach is actually going to do is not stand still, because Coach would get killed if he stood still. We're going to maneuver quite heavily off to the side. And that's a back shot. I kind of want to avoid a back shot. Nope, give me a Coach. And the reason why I want to avoid a back shot is because I don't want to kill him. Well, I do want to kill him, but I don't want to blow him apart. I want to tear off his legs. Or make him eject. That would be cool, too. So, machine guns active. Looks like we can get back up to a burst of 3 machine gun shots. We'll go up to 4. Oh, no, apparently not. Huh, interesting. So, apparently one of my machine guns is way more accurate than the other. Do we cook? We absolutely cook. Fire! Yes! Yes, he ejected! Everything was there! We've got the entire mech. Now, we're not going to be able to get to the mech, unfortunately, because, unfortunately for us, the pilot of that mech, whatchamacallit, thingamabob, we only have 2 of 9 salvage on this mission, so I'm not going to be able to steal the entire mech. But there's some pretty sweet gear on that thing. Okay, it looks like he's going to keep jumping, which will keep him very unstable. He's going to blast away, managing to miss us, but hit the buildings behind us. They can destroy buildings while traveling. It's hilarious, by the way. What's your accuracy? Your accuracy is terrible. If you punched it, it would be just as bad. So you know what? You're going to have 2 shots instead of the 1. Make him unsteady, please. Hey, you hit it! And that made him unsteady. Why? Because he was already over the threshold, and a small laser was enough to do it. The brigand! Time for the brigand to get involved. The brigand is going to move slightly far away, just to make sure that it doesn't get anybody too close to it to shoot in the back. We're going to cook, because why not? Fire a whole bunch of shots, and the engine is destroyed. Alright, we've taken care of the entire lance. Our Phoenix Hawk took a pretty rough hit, the brigand took a pretty rough hit, but aside from that, we're doing quite excellent. Not feeling terrible about that one at all. And we have the entirety of the Phoenix Hawk parts, which we get to Lego build into a mech that we desire. Which I'm not sure what we're going to build it into, but yeah, we'll see what we can rob. So 47,480 C-bills was our reward. The Phoenix Hawk taking a pretty nasty hit in the back, as well as the Brigand, which actually has some leg damage too, which we're going to have to actually repair. Other than that, Shadowhawk untouched, the Urban Mech untouched. So only 2 mechs need to be repaired, and I believe we're almost there to fix everything. Okay. Yeah, there's the entire Stinger, and I only get to grab 2 parts. Light rifle? No, thank you. Periphery rifles? Absolutely not. Ooh, plus 20%. Do I need to put everything into it? So, a LAM engine, plus 20% jump distance, plus 1 maximum evasion pips, plus 1 evasion pip screen from movement, 4 engine slots reserved on either side, requires partial wings to be installed. If it's destroyed, the mech is, explodes. It's not quite capable of doing anything. So, if I can throw in a partial wing system, because that would have... Oh, a gyro defense as well? LAM aluminum armor? 20% jump distance, minus 10% weapon heat generated, 9 heat per turn sink, plus 10% armor weight though, so it does make armor a little bit rougher to work with. 2 fixed reserve slots. Oh, there's so much cool stuff here. Plus 10%. So this will increase the weight, but... Okay, so partial wing system, do you require anything? Weighs 70% of one... Oh, it just... Partial wing systems used to be based on specific mech, so it was a partial wing system 30 to something ton mech, so now it's fully dynamic. Looks like that's great. I'm gonna grab the partial wing system, and I'd love to grab the LAM Strasher, but I think I gotta grab the LAM engine, because the weight isn't any higher, is it? It doesn't say that it's any higher, it just says that you get more evasion and you can jump further, so you'll need the partial wing system on top of that, but, I mean, if I want to make a really evasive mech, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I've never had these before, so I've always really wanted to get my hands on them. And we'll see what the other 7 parts are. We got a couple of Urban Mech parts, and nothing else. We also got a whole bunch of heatsinks, so there's that going for us, and some improved jump jits. So one of our mechs we can make fly a lot faster, and in fact, I'm really tempted to put it on the Shadowhawk, because if I could put things like Endosteel and Ferrofibrous on that Shadowhawk, and then give it the partial wing system and the LAM engine, that'll sort of cancel out the weight, and now I've got a 55-ton mech which can fly quite far. Not sure what we're going to do about it, though. Because right now the mech is too chill. The mech is very much designed for a longer range combat, and I'm not super thrilled about it. Mainly because really long range combat is not something our pilots are particularly good at just yet. We need to give them a lot more skills that they need to learn before they're actually going to be capable of handling a mech that, well, basically shoots from halfway across the mech. Autocannon 5s are fairly solid in terms of heat and damage per ton in the vanilla game. They're okay in RogueTech, but the problem is they have a minimum range, and when your pilots are very early on where they need to get up close and personal on somebody, that becomes a bit of a problem. Apparently, a whole bunch of abandoned sectors are being stolen. Tortuga took Giverny from abandoned, so it looks like Tortuga is pushing forward into some empty space. Not bad. 9,245 for the next 6 days. It's going to keep us busy with all of them repairs. So, yes, sir. Let's go check our mech bay and see exactly what it is we have to work with. Refit. Do I have any actual structures to refit with is going to be the big question. And we have... I need equipment, structures, endosteel. So we do have endosteel. And then if I wanted to totally re-engine this thing, how would I go about doing that? So first of all, we come to engines and heatsinks, and ENG for engines. This puts a LAM engine in there. Requires, oh, so partial wing kit needs to go in first, it looks like. And the partial wing system, I'm going to assume that's, oh no, yes, it is under structure. So, and we can throw it apparently only into one torso, which is odd to me. Oh no, it automatically fills out the other. So this puts us overweight. We'll then put in the... I'm only testing this just to see like what I could build with it. This is not an actual build that we're planning on doing, but I kind of want to see what it's going to look like on screen. So engine goes in, the partial wing system. Do I have any guns for this? Because that's going to be kind of important. I'm also going to need jump jets for it. So equipment, jump jets. We have 2 improved jump jets, so we can throw those in there as well. That'll put us up to 5 jump jets in total, 3 normal, 2 improved, which should help our jump distance rather considerably, I hope. We can jump 180 meters, which is not all that much, although that might not be actually be taking into account all the bonuses that we get. So the endosteel wasn't enough. I kind of didn't think that it would be. Come over to weapons. Let's see what sort of weapons we have available. Absolutely nothing. So we've grabbed only equipment so far. So it's interesting to know how this will work. It's not all that heavy, all things considered. If I pull out the LRM 5 and its ammunition, that pretty much sorts that entire thing out. So we're not going to build it like this, but the weight is there. But I think I would need more partial heat sinks in order to really make that work. It would also cost us $1 million to put in that new engine. So that is something to keep in mind. So the urban mech did pretty good, not terrible. I mean, it didn't really have much impact on the battle whatsoever, but it's capable. And the Shadowhawk, rather similar. It was very much the Phoenix Hawk and the Brigands show once they actually got into things. However, they are currently damaged and need repair. 3 days on each, plus 4 days on our very badly dented Javelin, so we're going to have to chill for a few days. Let's go check the command center to see if there's any contracts worth hanging around for, or if we need to travel. We only just arrived, so there should be others. A straight-up battle with Trap is Sprung is definitely an option here. Escort mission, I'd rather not. A whole bunch of battles are available. They're not great in terms of how much salvage they're going to get, but they're here. So we're going to stick around for the next several days. In 3 days, Mech Bay 2 will be active. So that allows us to now start fixing up 2 mechs at a time. We're going to come over to engineering as well, ship upgrades, and we want automation, which will allow the second repair bay to work at maximum efficiency. So now we're fixing 2 mechs at a time, which is great. And most of our pilots are just a single day away. The Brigand will be ready in 2 days, and the Javelin a few days after that. Pause. We are good. So the Javelin will be ready in 3 days, 4 days until automation is fully set up, and we've got 8 days until the end of the month where we got to pay out almost 500,000 C-bills. So go check on our mech warriors to see if anybody's actually leveled up. We'll take the A-team. Howl has not. Jester, how about you? Jester could get his guts a little bit higher, and I'm going to do it in order to get his health up. So now he has 4 maximum injuries instead of the 3, making him a little bit more survivable. Paladin can get his tactics up, which will give him a little bit more initiative. We'll get everybody up to that base 4 level, and Paradox is already at that base 4 and has a level in tactics. So not terrible. Death Crusade hasn't, Finn hasn't, and everybody is all set. Lovely. Alright, over to the contract screen. Let us go see if we can't take a mission. And we want another battle. And we're going to take a 1-skull battle. The Trap is sprung. We're getting reports. This will be another 2 of 9, 666,000. We're going to take it for salvage. The reason why we're going to take it for salvage is because I need stuff. Or I could take civilian extraction. 4 of 17 salvage for only a half skull. That might not be terrible. But I kind of want to take the battle. This one pays out 842, 604. Yeah, I think I want to take a battle anyway for salvage. Gonna fight down on the local pirate organization, which is kind of amusing because... Oh, what's wrong with... Oh yeah, your leg is busted. Let's go fix your leg real quick. Should take us about a day, I think. Unless it's really bad. Totally forgot about that lake, which is kind of important. Fix it! Oh, it's free and takes no days whatsoever. Okay, so it was basically a bit of a waste of time. Lovely. So the brigand is back and ready for action. So trap is sprung. Negotiate. Give me all the stuff. Although it's not a lot of stuff, but we need basic stuff even. You'll notice we had literally no weapons at all. Howl, get inside the Phoenix Hawk, please. Phoenix Hawk, please. You can drive it. I believe in you. Who did we have? Paladin was in the Shadowhawk because he could punch a little bit harder. Paradox, I believe, was driving the... No, Jester was driving it. Paradox can be in the Irby... Okay, and the Irby is an initiative 16 because that engine sucks. So Jester in the Brigand, Paradox in the Urban Mech, Howl in the Phoenix Hawk, and Paladin in the Shadowhawk. Let's drop down to these people and make them regret the day that they ever tried to take on the pirate kingdom of Tortuga. The Tortuga Dominions does not take kindly to people who betray the Tortuga Dominions, which in and of itself would probably betray you for, well, probably a light snack at the end of the day. Let's be honest with ourselves here. We're not exactly playing the good guys, unless we want to really change and go through an entire massive reform period within the Tortuga Dominions. I just don't think that's going to happen, if I'm completely honest with you. I think that's not going to be a thing that occurs. But we're definitely going to see if we can't level up with the Tortuga Dominion. We'll probably join with them. They may get crushed, which is not great, but we're certainly going to give it a try. Maybe not. Maybe we'll ally with somebody else, but this is supposed to be a pirate campaign. Anyway, the local government is asking us to spring the trap. We're getting a number of reports from agents on the ground of a powerful mech sporting pirate colors. Just like ours, perhaps? A single mech operating on its own out in the middle of nowhere sounds like a trap. Our plan is to spring the trap and see who comes to investigate. Engage the mech, intercept the forces the local pirate organization sends to defend it, and destroy them all. 190,400 C-bills is not terrible cash, especially considering our drop costs are pretty light, given the rather... I don't want to say weakness, but unupgraded form of our mechs. 2 of 9 priority salvage and a single skull mission, so a little bit more difficulty. Probably going to run into at least 5 mechs, I'd imagine. Although they could throw another 3 at us. Either way works for me. If we run into a medium, we're going to have to see if we can't, shatter every other mech so there's few parts as possible. Unfortunately, we don't really have the equipment for that, so we're going to have to figure things out. Anyway, we're going to have to fix this current little ever-spinning problem, and we'll be back in just a moment. And with that all sorted, let's get underway. So dropping down right on the head of whatever mech this is, we're going to leap onto him with the A-Team. We don't necessarily have the A-Team mech, because I'm going to be honest, I think the Javelin might be a slightly better mech than the Urban mech in the current configuration, although we can always modify the configuration, which would be hilarious. Let's get the Phoenix Hawk underway, see if we can't find the enemy. Howl will not be outpaced, even in a 45-ton mech. She's faster than our lighter mechs. Shadowhawk gonna almost keep pace as well, being a little bit further ahead because he didn't have to go around everybody else. Jester in the Brigand will fly to the front, hopefully bringing its more advanced sensors, or at least I hope it has more advanced sensors. Otherwise, we're in a little bit of trouble. We need to get a mech that has some sort of active probe on it so that we can see the enemy better at longer distances. Sensors are a fairly important thing to keep going, as is the tactic skill in order to help power those sensors. So, nothing on scope as of yet. We want to get on top of it and murder it before anything bad can happen. My only major concern right now is trying to keep the Urban mech up with everybody. Let's get that sprint going. Here's why I'm going to sprint instead of jump. Oh, we've got the enemy on long-range sensors. It is a wasp. It is a walking wasp. There is also a wasp lamb, in case you were wondering. There's a wasp lamb, a stinger lamb, a phoenix hawk lamb, and a shadowhawk lamb. And there's a couple of other Word of Blake Jihad era lambs of descriptions, which I'm not super sure about. Shot off the medium pulse lasers. They can't possibly hit him from here. Fire the twin ER mediums, and it did manage to connect with him. Lovely. I'm also really happy that mech is capable of firing its twin ER mediums without cooking itself at all. So it is able to do that, even though... do we fire a shell? Nah, it's a 10% chance that I've got 10 shells, so I need to make it count a little bit better than that. But I like the fact that he can fire his ERs without having to cook at all. That will give us a little bit more flexibility to allow us to shoot the enemy, even though we don't have great odds. So even we'll be able to shoot every single turn. And you know what? We're going to also shoot with him. And we managed to hit him, too, unless we hit that building behind him, which is, or it's a rock behind him. No, never mind. So we must have hit him. We've got incoming reinforcements. Thank you for letting us know, Darius, as we get shelled. Hopefully those were not fast cam LRMs, which deploy mines around you, which mines are totally a thing, and you can use them and have them used against you. That's one of the big things about RogueTech that I absolutely love. There is a ton of crazy technology in this game, but the one thing you've got to remember is they have crazy technology. you can use the exact same gear, which makes the game very interesting. Oh, we got a fantastic chance to blitz him. For everything we've got into him, looks like we managed to tear off his hand, damage him quite heavily. His right arm has been destroyed, and the pilot ain't feeling so hot. Hopefully I can get another mech within range to actually cause a bit of lovely damage to him. It's not looking so hot, if we're completely honest with ourselves, but you know what? I think... Ooh, the large laser does have the highest chance to hit. We're going to drop one medium laser just to keep me under the 50% ammo, or 50% heat limit, and fired everything and didn't manage to connect with him anyway. Hopefully we can get a little bit closer. The Wasp is moving forward. He still has a medium laser, or maybe he doesn't. Paladin, can you get in nice and close to hit him with some form of weaponry? That would, of course, be ideal. If I stand here, how about that? It's not any better, but it does give me a little bit more cover. Protection is important. We're going to fire a whole bunch of missiles at him, and did manage to hit him and make him lose his evasion. That might mean that Paradox can then come in with his big ol' AC-10, if he can see it. Which he can't unless maybe he flies? No, oh, there we go. That's our target. Do I want to take this shot, knowing that my mech is in the way? We missed by 3%. It was probably the best chance he was going to get. He needs to travel quite the distance to actually get within range. Light carrier coming in, going to continue to blitz the brigand, fire a whole ton of missiles raining down on us, but not luckily connecting. So it looks like he's probably got a pair of LRM-20s, or maybe a pair of LRM-15s. In any case, he's got a whole bunch of LRMs. We've got a Locust on the way, an excellent scouting fast mech, so hopefully we can just rip it apart. So it won't be able to do anything to us. Do I want to go for you? I think I might want to. And I could run for it. This might give me the angle that I need. Or I could dive on the carrier. We are cooking a little bit. So this is going to have to count. We're going to move for it. Oh, the accuracy is beautiful. Shut off a single ER medium lasers. That'll keep me under heat. Fire away. Oh, and all of the shots hit. He is now suffering a little bit. Howl. You can get up there and you can punch him. And there'll be a 77% chance to hit him with the Phoenix Hawk. Give him a piece of your mind. Fist to the face! And it missed. Oh, Howl, not a melee combat. We're going to have to bring in the Shadowhawk. And the reason why we did that is, one, to chill out, and two, just to get him forward. That way we hopefully get a little bit more accuracy. Alright, Paladin's an actual combat melee, and he has a mech designed for it with them big old battle fists. And nails him, damaging quite a lot. His primitive engine has apparently been heavily critted, and the pilot is a tad stressed, not feeling the love. Light carrier maneuvering. He has a target on the brigand. Will the brigand be able to avoid the damage? Yes. Yes, he will. Brigand's probably going to have to go for that carrier, otherwise it's going to get shot. Paradox. If you just stood still and shot, what would you get? 24? Fire. Nailed it! Oh, now that's how you do it. Firing an AC-10 shell from long range in between friendly mechs. And a suburban mech. I'm not particularly familiar with suburban mechs. Apparently we're going to find out. We've got a Bulldog medium tank. Paladin, time for you to get underway and involved in the combat. You should be able to see the carrier and not have a particularly accurate shot on it. But you know what? You have no heat to worry about. Shut off the AC-5 just to get rid of the recoil, but we will fire a whole bunch of missiles at it. Didn't manage to even touch it even. So good job there. Locust is within punching range. Do I want to actually punch it? I'm not quite so certain. Maybe I can just shoot at it. Yeah, at the end of the day it's a Locust and we did chill out a little bit. So fire all the weapons. It's a Locust. We need just a little bit of a touch onto it and it will kill it. Jester's Brigand probably needs to get underway and really bloody fast. How badly damages the Locust? A lot of sections have been opened up on it, but it's not dead yet. I think I want to sprint. Maybe we should jump. The reason is I don't want to be seen by this. But I may not have much of a choice. Yeah, we'll rush for the light carrier. Hi, I'm going to cook myself a little bit in order to make this hurt. I was hoping you'd kill it, but apparently not. So the reason is because if we had managed to blow him up entirely, we wouldn't have to worry about his incoming LRM barrages, which he's got 3 of them, so this could be painful. Also, a Bulldog medium tank should have a large laser on board. Phoenix Hawk getting shot at by the little Locust. I assume the Locust has ace pilot, because if not, it's dead. Because it didn't move. Is the pilot going to figure out what he wants to do? It's got to have ace pilot. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He stood still. Alright, LRM carrier has decided to continue to engage the Phoenix Hawk and not be particularly successful in doing that. That'll be a good source of a couple of LRMs. We could turn one of our mechs into having a ton of them. You have no target. It's time to jump. Bounce. It's not fast. It ain't pretty, but it's working on it. Enemy phase, they get to move their Bulldog around, and the Bulldog is going to accomplish nothing. Suburban mech also accomplishing nothing. Lovely. Howl, can you please kill this guy? 87%, or I could shoot it. I mean, it's 41 damage. 41 damage is a lot of damage to a Locust. You know what? Give it the old punch. Why? Because I'm trying to save heat. Hip destroyed, lower leg, left leg destroyed entirely. He's going over then. If that leg is indeed down, and it is, he's gonna fall onto the ground. Maybe the pilot will bail out. He has been punched and shot at by quite a few people. The pilot has been injured. Paladin can get forward, and you know what is also going to stomp at it. And again, in order to panic the pilot, and also because save some heat, gets him forward, allows him to do something without having to risk anything. Alright, we've managed to destroy the Locust as well. We've got the Suburban Mech, the Bulldog, and the Light Carrier out here as well. Unfortunately, I'm not within range to actually do anything about it, so what we're going to do is we're going to sprint, and we're going to hide. We're going to hide so that we can engage next turn. So I'm going to slip around, probably around here. Gives me enough movement to avoid getting shot at, while at the same time getting me out of harm's way, getting our heat back under control. Paradox, you've got a long trip. Oh, I gotta get this thing some form of better engine. I may put an XL engine inside of it. Looks like our AC-10 was jammed, but it is now unjammed, so lucky for us. And the carrier's back on the way back, the Bulldog's on the way back, and the Suburban Mech's on the way back. We've got 3 enemies coming right for us. Oh, that carrier. I believe his other side was exposed. Well, in any event, we'll get in behind him. We are going to be in a bit unstable terrain. A whole bunch of ballistics on this one. Yeah, we're on the wrong side of this. But you know what? It hasn't proven to be particularly effective. I am a little bit worried about this Bulldog, though. Let's nail it from behind. I got a penetrating hit, but did not actually kill it. We are now cooking a little bit. Howl, you're up. Howl, could you step on it from behind? No, you cannot. Can you run behind it just enough? You absolutely could. You'll reveal your back to the Suburban Mech. Which, what does the Suburban Mech even have? I'm not particularly familiar with the Suburban Mech. If it's got an AC-20, we might have a bit of a problem. You know what? We're going to fly. We're going to use all that heat. And we're going to cook this, except for a little bit, I think. I'll shut off a single medium laser to keep us under the heat. And fire the machine guns and the large lasers. We've broken his propulsion, but he's not dead. If I had fired that medium laser, it probably would have worked as well. But I didn't want to worry about the heat. Sprint, nothing. How about if we jumped? Can we get further? We're about the same distance. So we may as well jump. We'll just keep on hopping. Like a little bunny rabbit. What's left on you? Both of your torsos, both of your sides are exposed and vulnerable. So I will get around to this side. Hello, I have LRMs and SRMs, and you know what? I'm going to fire the LRMs anyway. Because why not? He's not dead! He is still surviving. This is not good. I've thrown everything I have at him, and now he's going to be able to move. So, despite the fact that I broke his propulsion, thank you for shooting your buddy. A lot. He almost killed the light carrier. Oh, this is why friendly fire is amazing. He's got to be behind his fire at the Brigand. A lot of hits on the Brigand on that one. Lots of armor has just been peeled away. And it looks like he managed to blow up one of his LRMs. Alright, Suburban Mech has arrived. He does have the PPC that I thought he did. Okay. So, lucky for us, though, he did manage to miss the Brigand, which will keep us alive. Alright, I want Howl. Howl is cooking a little bit. So what Howl's going to do is basically take a shot at the Bulldog and wipe it out. I don't want to have to worry about this thing in the near future. Not you, but you. So in order to do that, I will boil the mech a little bit. In fact, I maybe should shut off the large laser. No, I'd have to shut off a machine gun as well. Or maybe step a machine gun down in the number of shots. Let's go to 2 shots. And shut off the large laser. That'll get the heat under control. Blast away. And we killed him. Lovely. And that keeps our heat down so we can actually alpha strike somebody else this turn, which will be lovely. And who's up next? Jester. Jester, you're going to step on him. You need to step on his right side, hopefully. It is indeed his right side, which he is helpfully exposed to us, but unfortunately is not actually vulnerable at the moment for reasons that have yet to be explained. Oh, wait, no, it is... That's the back. I want to chill this mech out, and I want to get rid of my instability. We're going to do this. Hi, buddy. And stomp. Clang, minus initiative. His back is now open. Paladin, time for you to engage in close-range combat fisticuffs, I believe, with the Suburban Mech. I'm going to get right along to your side here, and my AC-5 will have a terrible chance to hit. So theoretically, I would be doing 40 damage. Or I could punch him for 50 damage. This seems like a no-brainer, even though we were considering the other move. 77% chance to hit. Give him the fist! There we go. Clang, minus initiative, structure exposed. Paradox, do you have a shot yet? Let's keep on hopping. Little bunny, rapid go. Need to put bunny ears on the back of my urban mech, because that appears to be the most logical conclusion. So, unfortunately, we've all moved, and the light carrier is still going to have a shot, and it's going to blast quite heavily into the side of the Brigand, but the Brigand is still there, although the armor is probably getting quite low. He's blown up another one of his LRMs, which is not good for him. Urban mech going to go in for the punch of the Brigand. Duck, Brigand! Haha, managed to avoid the kick. So the Suburban Mech has not used the PPC that we thought was going to be more reasonable to actually utilize. Paradox, do you have a target yet? Oh, he's got 2! Surprise! Do I fire the cannon at a 5%, 27%? Yes, we do. You got it! Good job there, Paradox. He shows up at the exact moment to steal all the glory. Doing a lovely job. We're very proud of you. Your punching maneuver is not nearly as effective as the other punching maneuver, but you're actually going to cook yourself on this one, because why not bring the machine gun up to 4 shots, 50% chances to hit, blast him as much as we can. That'll tear off half the mech. He has double heat sinks. Oh, he has double heat sinks. I want them. I wants them. Give them to me. Nope, you're gonna punch him from the side. We're gonna slowly drill through him. There's also a PVC in there. Hi, buddy. Oh, that's a nice big clang. Engine crit and destroyed. Come on, just blow up the engine. Leave everything else. Jester. Jester's gonna get in over here, I think. I don't want to shoot him in the back, and the reason I is because it'll cut through that back like a hot knife through butter. And I don't want to be in the way of the urban mech, so we're going to come around over here. That'll give me really good chances to hit. Fire everything. Should tear off your other side, and you're going to freak out, right? You're going to eject. You're surrounded, your panic levels are critical. It's your turn, and you're going to move and do nothing. Okay, Jester, punch him from the behind, because that's where he'll have the most amount of armor. He might be able to survive this 23 hit. Maybe we'll hit the leg. Come on, be lucky. He didn't eject. He should eject. Dude, you really, really should eject. Trust me. If you want to survive... Oh, God, no, not you. You'll hit him like a truck. He'll die. Yeah, he'll definitely die. You're going to reserve... Reserving action. Paradox, you have a shot. It's only with an AC-10. So we're not going to do that. Howl, I need you to punch him from behind, and I need you to not hit him badly. Actually, which side is this? It's the side that he will die from. From that side? That's the side where he potentially lives? No, he'll absolutely die. 41 damage? Yeah, it's gotta be from behind. You gotta hit a leg, please! He's not dead? Come on, pilot, bail! What do you think you're playing at, man? You're gonna get yourself killed doing this. Jump. Apparently he thinks he's got this in the bag. Okay, brace. How much does he have left? I can't imagine he's got much. He's got a center torso, which has, like, no health. Paladin, here's what I need you to do. You've surrounded him. We've got him fully handled. I should have gone to his side just to improve the odds. Gonna go for a called shot, and you're only gonna fire the SRM-2. Gonna shoot for his leg. You killed him. I was trying to save them double heat sinks. So there's no urban mech left there. We tried. We honestly tried. Oh, we gave it our best, but no, we just had to kill him entirely. We ripped apart the entire mech piece by bloody piece. I tried. His panic levels are critical. We just weren't able to push him over the edge because we don't have a flamer. So, a whole bunch of Locust 1E parts. What does the Locust 1E normally equipped with? Turns into a viable frontline mech, increased firepower, medium laser, having removed his reliance on ammunition. Okay, so it's an energy-based Locust. A whole bunch of LRM-10s, which would be interesting. I was hoping they'd be 15s or 20s. Engine cores galore. Give me that 240. I want that 240 based engine. Why? Because they're cool. Do I have a 170? I do not. I don't have any of these cores. Heatsink, quantity, jump jet, sensor basic, sensor primitive, ammo for the LRMs and the Rack 2. LRM SAM. Plus 4 accuracy against VTOL? That is interesting. Minus 2 accuracy with ranged weapons in general. So, not quite what I'm looking for. Since we need general equipment, I'm not particularly going to be interesting myself in, say, the urban mech part or anything like that. We instead are going to be looking at the actual equipment. Now, the LRM-10 is not particularly useful to me at the moment. I mean, potential damage is good, but it weighs so gosh darn much for what it does. SRM-4s might not be a terrible thing. Upgrade the weapons inside the Shadowhawk, but I think I'm just going to rely on engines here. We're going to grab a couple of engine cores, use them for later, save them for later. That's going to be the key. There is a fire control system indirect, which I don't think is super useful to us. We don't have a mech build for it. We picked up all the parts except for the parts for the Locust, which is not a terrible thing. Got one of the LRM-10s, again, not terrible. And sensor, basic, fire control. We did get the double ammo. This interests me a lot because it has 25% extra ammo for 2 tons. So 270 shots instead of 240. Not terrible. We also got the special SAM ammo, but that's not particularly useful to anything that we're doing right now. I mean, a half ton of SAM ammo I might take, but the VTOLs that we run into right now are relatively easy to kill. I mean, they're rippers. They're rippers with bomb bays, and they're not terrifyingly dangerous if we're going to be completely blunt about the things. Alrighty, so that's gonna go okay. I don't think we've got anything to really build with at the moment. I mean, the 170 rated fusion core is a bit big for our lighter mechs, and the 240 is way too big for the lighter mechs, but way too small in order to improve our Shadowhawk. The Shadowhawk already has a 270 rated fusion core, so if we wanted to turn it into a slow-moving gun platform, that might be okay, but right now we're being a little bit more aggressive than that. We want to be aggressive, forward-thinking, and blowing through the enemy. All right, it'll be 5 days because of all the chip damage that we took to that brigand. It is probably our most expensive and difficult to maintain mech. Also, yeah, only 3 days on the brigand, 1 day on the Phoenix Hawk, 2 days on the Shadowhawk. Of course, the brigand's going to be up front. We'll put the Phoenix Hawk right there and hope that it finishes at full speed. Is it going to? No, it's still going to take 2 days. So we're going to be spending a couple of days just sort of chilling out. None of the gear that we got is kind of worth anything. Stop. Shadowhawk is in 1 day, which gives us back all of our mechs, except for Howl. We'll give Howl a day. And now we've got the Javelin tomorrow as well. Give the Javelin. Alright, so we currently have... Oh, I did waste a day on this. But we just got automation, and now we're going to move into training module. It's a cheap and cheerful upgrade. Allows your mech warriors to gain 30 experience per day up until they reach a maximum, 200,000 total experience. And, you know, +1 morale. Makes people feel better. And also having the training module will allow you to take advantage of certain events which can improve morale even further, which is pretty helpful. Gonna give our mech warriors a quick check, see who's doing what. We can grab Guts or Tactics. We're going to grab Tactics because I want this pilot to be able to move a little bit faster. Guts is the least important ability for Howl. The main reason is because she literally cannot die. So if you've only got 3 injuries, the amount of time that you spend being dead, I believe, is less than if you have 4 injuries and you die. So that's what we're going to kind of lean into. Jester did not level up, Paladin did not level up, and Paradox did not level up, despite the fact that Paradox was providing super long-range sniper support, which was absolutely hilarious. Give a check on our mech base. How is the Javelin doing? It was just damage to the armor, wasn't it? You got, like, severely mauled, but you're not actually dead or anything? I think that's the case. I hope that's the case. Yeah, there's nothing really broken about you. You just got hurt. You have 10 rear armor, which is terrible. Oh, it scares me. It scares me a lot. Actually, what could I do about that? Could I make you fly? Endosteel. Partial wing system. It's already overweight. Let's see, I need kit. Or no. What did I need? I need the LAM engine, which is in the engine. Takes up even more space. I am 0.61 tons overweight. If I drop the listen kill ammo, I could... No, I still need the tonnage for it. I think we're a bit short of being able to do something like this. Also because at the end of the day we would want to rip out these two here, put in the improved jump jets. That would take up to 1.11 tons. But boy, would this sucker be able to fly. How far could you actually move? According to this, 210 meters. I think that's a lie. I think we'd be able to fly much further than that. I don't think that's updating properly. But yeah, someday, somehow, I will build you like so. Alright, we're not going to change the mech at all. We'll probably bring it back in the battle because it is a fairly solid design for actually running up and getting it engaged with somebody. I'm thinking that it'll be okay. Urban mech, on the other hand, desperately needs a re-engine. The problem I have is I don't have the tonnage for it. So the Urban Mech is packing an AC-10, which is heavy as all hell. If I were to give him, say, a 140 rated fusion core, he'd be 7 tons overweight. And I'm going to be blunt, the Endosteel is not capable of handling that. But if we did give him that, his movement would increase to a 9.5, which is not super fast for a light, but it's better. But what we desperately need is we need to get our hands on a light engine. So as soon as we can get our hands on a light engine, we can do some interesting things to it. Obviously, I'm not going to waste my Endosteel on this. Gives me 1.5 tons. Or it'd be lovely to have, if I could just max out all the armor, how much would that give me? How much do I need to max out all your armor? Because if it's, you know, it's just too slow to do this. I'd love to, but the 1.5 tons I think that I could use to fit it. Ooh, maybe. Nah, we're going to be just shy of a ton and a half. So it would give us just under 2 tons. Oh, wait, no, we still have some head armor. Just over 2 tons in order to fully equip this thing with all the armor that it can possibly carry, which is a little disappointing, because right now it's not all that good. I don't have a fire control system, unfortunately, to put inside of it that could give it anything improved. We've already got a standard. I don't want to go to primitive because I believe primitive is less accurate. Hit sensors, yeah, it doesn't say anything. Yeah, this gives us an advanced zoom, which gives us better increased range. We also have basic sensors on here. The reason why we're going to keep our hands on these is because there are some mechs that come built in with primitive versions of these, like this primitive fire control system, which I'm actually going to sell. And we don't want those because they're terrible. Selling. Can get me some primitive equipment first and foremost. Show me that primitive fire control system. We're going to sell it. It's cheap, cheerful. It was taking up space, and we don't want it to take up space, so that's the key there. All of these fusion cores are potentially useful in mechs of different varying sizes, and the heat sinks we desperately need. The LAM engine is fascinating, but they're only willing to buy it for a terrible amount of price, and you know what? I'm more than willing to keep this thing in my arsenal until I decide I need it better. Going to keep the improved jump chest for a similar reason. No support weapons. Our missile weapons are now deadfire SRMs, which, you know, a little bit rough, and half a ton of listen kill ammunition. We've also got double rounds for the LRMs, but we've only got a single LRM-10 to make it actually work, so that might be a little bit much. No energy weapons. Our ballistic weapons are a light rifle and a pepperbox rifle. Both of these are not particularly amazing guns. The pepperbox fires 4 times and takes, I believe, medium rifle ammo? It takes some sort of rifle ammo, I think. Although it doesn't say. Maybe it's just automatically got ammunition. 4-barreled cannons. Maybe we can fire 4 times, or maybe just shoots 4 times. I'm going to have to double check that at some point. Normally it says what kind of ammunition it takes, but the medium rifle ammo is for, of course, a medium rifle, which we don't have. We do have a pair of light rifles, but who needs light rifles? They deal 30 damage and they weigh 3 tons. Actually, no, that's not terrible. Huh. Yeah, but they are primitive projectile cannons. So they're not super great. The rifles are all basically, think real-life modern tank guns. That's what all the rifles are, because autocannons are even better. They're special and they're awesome. So nothing we can do to the urban mech, nothing we can really do to the Javelin. I don't want to modify my other 2 mechs at the moment based on what they currently have. I don't think it's worth it at the moment. Although, you really do need more weaponry, because your current loadout is just terrible. Because the SRM-2 combined with the LRM-5 is just a complete waste of everybody's time. Oh god, I didn't even notice that. Pull that out right now. That is death in a can right there. We are not doing that, I refuse. Pulling that autocannon ammo out, and all the ammunition is all over the important spots on this mech. What the heck? Move that internal. And pull this ammunition out of here. Pull this ammunition out of here. Good God, it's like somebody was trying to get us killed. I wish I had been paying attention to this sooner. So a penetrating hit could have set off the SRM ammo, blown the whole mech. So they're a little bit safer in the legs. It's not great, but it does make them a little less likely to be shot at, which is a little bit helpful. This will take us 4 days to move ammo? I mean, and a heatsink, but still. Jeez. If I was really going to modify this mech, how would I go about doing it? That's the real question. If you're going to be looking for more combat, we're not going to be doing more combat. We're just going to tease out a couple of potential builds just to see where it goes. End of steel, kind of expensive, but not super bad. And just show me all. We don't have enough stuff to need to sort it. I don't want any of these. I don't think I need any of these. I also don't think I need the jump jets. If you're going to go jump jets, in my opinion, I think you go full jump jets. You make it really work. Go internal with all of the heat sinks. I don't like the mix of 3 different ammunition types. The problem is I don't have a gun to go with this. I desperately need more guns. I mean, it's a problem. I have a more powerful LRM, but it's a single LRM. That's the thing that's really holding us back from doing any modifications, is we don't have any weapons. Mainly because I do prioritize equipment quite heavily, because equipment can have some pretty drastic effects on a mech. So we're definitely going to have to keep our eye out for special weapons that we can really sort of take advantage of and utilize in new and interesting ways. But right now this is terrible, and under normal circumstances what I might try and do is... God, I can't even do that. This is just a horrific mech in general. SRM-4 and a pair of SRM-6s. That would work. Oh, or maybe an LRM-5 and just a pair of LRM-20s. I mean, that would be in and of itself like 20-something tons. If I ripped off all the kit off of this, how much it's not pod space because these aren't omnipods, but just in general, how much weight does this thing have available to do stuff with? 16.5 tons. Yeah, that ain't great. I'm going to leave these heat sinks internal, I think. Yeah, that's really not great. Because 16.5 tons with this, if I maxed out the armor, 12-ish tons. If I did that, I've got 14.5 tons, just shy of. I really don't like how this calculation is never quite even. So about 15 tons to work with it, max armor. 15 tons really does lead me to lean on SRMs, because I've got 3 missile hardpoints. I've also got 3 ballistic. But a plan that we could do is we could rip the AC-10 out of the urban mech, put it in here. That's 12 tons right there. Plus 2 tons of ammo, that's 14. Obviously, we wouldn't be able to do this with max armor. So 14 tons plus another, say, a medium pulse laser. That would take another 2 tons, and that would fit it out. Or a pair of SRM-2s with a ton of ammo. No, that's 3 tons. But yeah, that's kind of where my head's at. It's an odd build. It's got 3 missile hardpoints, which lends it a little bit to missiles, but one of those is in the head, which takes away your ability to do big missile, because your biggest SRM you can fit in here is an SRM-4, because it takes only 1 critical slot for that. The 3 ballistic is kind of wasted unless you go heavy machine guns, which we could do. The thing that really kind of guts this, it's only got 1 energy hardpoint. That makes it really hard to fit out early on, because it just doesn't have a ton of weight. But it's only got the 1 arm mount. A PPC maybe, or a large laser might be able to fill that in, give you a little bit more punch to it. But that doesn't mesh super well with the big ballistics that are all mounted in the left side of the mech. Does have a lot of support hardpoints, so what we could do, and this is a potential could do sort of deal, we could go chainsaws. And we make this thing full-on melee mech. I don't quite want to do it, but it is kind of the job that it's currently playing, because its melee punch is way more dangerous than its cannon right now. So, do you have any melee weapons you'd be willing to sell me? You don't. Just weapons in general. You're willing to sell me heat sinks, some autocannon ammo. You've got caseless autocannon ammo. So, minus 10% ammunition, but adds a flat 13% jam chance, mitigated, of course, by gunnery. But gives you double ammunition per bin. So, that's 10 rounds. Which, you know, that ain't bad. At least I think it's 10 rounds, right? Caseless ammo, double ammunition per bin. Yep, it should be. Yeah, 10 shots right there. Airburst mortar ammo, rack ammo, UAC ammo. Rack is rotary autocannons, UACs is ultra autocannons. Rotary autocannons can shoot like 6 times, UACs can shoot twice. Oh, a double UAC 10. Oh, that is very tempting. Not for almost 200,000 though. Alright, there's no really interesting weapons, but one of the things we are going to probably try and keep an eye out for is melee weapons for the Shadowhawk. It already is kind of a melee mech because it's got hands, and it's got the 2 support hardpoints in the hands, so we might be able to turn this thing into like a chainsaw master or something. Because right now its autocannon is mostly worthless, and its weapon ranges just don't mix all that well. SRM-2 medium laser combined with LRM-5 AC-5, it just seems kind of pointless. But yeah, we're definitely going to see what we can build that into, and definitely going to try and rip it apart a couple of ways, but we need more stuff before we can do it. And unfortunately, there's a whole bunch of 2 of 9 battles, which is not conducive for giving us stuff. So we're going to have to spread out into a little bit more aggressive, larger missions with 4 of 17 salvage, and save the rest of those 2 of 9 battles for just all cash runs, because that'll probably do us better in the end. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's episode. I've been Tarek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to see a notification every time I post one of these videos, press the little bell icon, leave a comment, share the video, and I will see you all in the next episode.